On the surface, comparing Uber to Lyft is like comparing apples to apples. They're both ride-sharing companies, right? Not so fast. Wondering which one is going to be the one to run taxis into the ground is the least of your concerns. And when you actually start digging a little bit, you realize that it's not just ride-sharing versus ride-sharing. Lyft really just kind of has their cars, some scooters, some bikes, you can even rent cars. Okay. But Uber, oh shit. Uber is so much more than just ride sharing, right? I'm on their website right now. They've got their eats, they've got their cars, they've got ways to earn if you're a driver, they've got freight, they've got deals for businesses. They're working with local state and governments to help improve their own public transportation. They've got bike and scooters. And then I saw this thing that said Elevate. I'm like, what the hell is that? Are you ready? What the fuck is that? That doesn't even exist yet. Uber is serious. They're not just ride sharing. I might buy some stock in Uber. Actually, I wanted to follow up on this, so I'm glad that you addressed it. A lot of the time when we're watching a scandal unfold in real time, we often think, that's it, this company is done. And Uber has had a lot of those. All of the sexual assault allegations and the, Travis Kalanick, the CEO executive, plus all of the accusations, horrible accusations from the drivers assaulting riders. When we watch those things happen in real time, we tend to think that's it for the company. They're done. But these issues are ultimately never the end of a company, right? They get resolved, especially because they have Wall Street to answer to, the shareholders, but also the law. Investors, we tend to think right in the moment, oh, I'm never going near this company. But a savvy investor says, ooh, this scandal is driving the price down on this stock, and they'll resolve it. Of course they will. This might be a good opportunity to buy. I like this. Let's keep talking about scandals and how in the moment we write off these companies and think they'll never ever recover. In the previous video, we were talking about Uber and all of their scandals with sexual assault and everything that was going on with their drivers. Plus, they used to have these really sleazy corporate parties with like strippers and stuff. But they handled it. They cracked down really hard. They even got rid of their executive, their CEO, Travis Kalanick. What about Chipotle? They had that huge salmonella outbreak. The stock went from around 700 maybe to 300. That was it. People were done with Chipotle. People were getting really sick. They had rats literally falling from the ceilings in some of their restaurants. We wrote them off. Chipotle was over. Now it's over $1,200 a share. What about Boeing? Every time one of their planes crash, everyone writes them, I'm never flying on their plane again. They got a scandal. It's such a big deal. Knew that the planes were unsafe, but they flew them anyway. They fire the guy. They fix the issue. The stock goes back up. Forget about greed is good from Wall Street. Scandal is good. Uber's already screwing their drivers over. And probably Lyft too. About a year ago, I was in an Uber, and I asked the driver how he was doing and if he liked Uber, if he ever drove for Lyft. And he said Lyft pays a little bit more, but he's been driving for Uber since the beginning. And back then, when Uber first started, he was making like $1 a mile or something. Now he's making like 32 cents per mile. The problem that I see with Uber is as more and more people sign up to do it, they're going to make less, right? Because it's saturated the market. There's just too many drivers. But what I'm waiting for are self-driving cars. Because as soon as there are self-driving cars, Uber is going to get rid of all their drivers. Having to pay those drivers, not having to worry about insurance or scandals because of said drivers. I think it's going to be all right for Uber. Bad for the drivers, good for the stock. Don't feel stupid. Remember, high is relative. Just because you bought it at 19 and sold it at 37 and it's 50 now, doesn't mean that you're priced out, that you can no longer get back in, or that you're an idiot. In fact, you're the smart investor who's recognizing that there's some momentum in this stock. And by the way, I'm not talking about just Uber. This applies to any stock that has momentum. You want to buy high, sell higher. Oftentimes, when there's momentum behind a stock, the smart move is to get back in. Even though you're paying a little bit of a higher price, it's all really relative. You can use Apple as a prime example. Many years ago, it was around $700 a share. Very expensive. They did a split, 7 for 1, bringing the stock price down to about $100. Still expensive, but remember, it's all relative because many years later, Apple got up to around $400 a share again, and they did another split. It's totally within the realm of possibility that Uber could be $80 a share one day.